The Jedi claimed love was dangerous, a path to the dark side. But what if they were wrong? What if their fear of love led directly to their downfall? Today we'll explore why the Jedi forbid love, whether love and attachment are truly the same thing, and why this flawed philosophy may have doomed the Order itself. The Jedi Order's stance on love was rooted in their understanding of the dark side. Yoda summed it up best when he said attachment leads to jealousy, the shadow of greed, that is. To the Jedi, attachment created fear of loss, and fear, they believed, was the very first step toward the dark side. The Jedi Code itself reflects this thinking. There is no emotion, there is peace. Love in their eyes was not just an emotion, it was a dangerous one. But here's where the Jedi missed the mark. Attachment and love are not the same thing. Attachment is possessive. It says, "You are mine. If I lose you, I lose myself." Love, on the other hand, is selfless. It says, "I want what's best for you, even if it isn't with me." The Jedi failed to make this distinction. They saw any form of closeness, any bond, as dangerous. But in reality, it was attachment, not love, that created the fear they were so desperate to avoid. However, during the High Republic era, centuries before the Clone Wars, Jedi were far more flexible. They recognized the danger of attachment, but encouraged compassion, friendship, even deep bonds with others. Jedi like Keeve Trennis or Elzar Mann openly struggled with emotions and connections, and the Order did not punish or create the same fear in them the way it did Anakin generations later. This shows that the rigid, loveless Jedi of the Clone War era were not inevitable. They were a product of decline, an order that had lost its balance. In Legends, love often proved a source of strength. Revan and Bastila Shan's love not only redeemed Bastila from the dark side, it anchored Revan in his struggle against the Sith. Nomi Sunrider, another famous Jedi, was driven by love for her family, and her compassion defined her as a hero. And then there's Luke Skywalker in both canon and Legends. It wasn't detachment that redeemed Vader, it was Luke's unconditional love for his father. He refused to give up on Anakin, even as the Emperor goaded him toward hatred. That act of love saved the galaxy. And even within the Clone Wars era, cracks showed. Obi-Wan's love for the Duchess Satine nearly drove him to leave the Order, and though he stayed, his bond with her remained. Ki-Adi-Mundi was allowed multiple wives for the sake of his species' survival. And yet Anakin's marriage to Padme, rooted in deep compassion but also fear of loss, was strictly forbidden. The hypocrisy was clear. Love was condemned when it was inconvenient, but overlooked when it served the Council's interests. And this brings us to the tragedy of Anakin Skywalker. Anakin's love for Padme wasn't what doomed him, it was his fear of losing her, his inability to love selflessly and to embrace compassion without fear. This is what drove him to the dark side. By forcing him to hide, by making love forbidden, his natural affection transformed into toxic obsession. The ban didn't protect Anakin, it trapped him, and Palpatine exploited that flaw to create Darth Vader. As supervising director of the Clone Wars, Dave Filoni has spoken about this flaw in the Jedi Order. He explained that the Jedi confused detachment with emotional suppression, and that their failure to embrace love is what drove Anakin away. Filoni even noted that Ahsoka, by leaving the Jedi Order, may have been the true embodiment of what a Jedi should be: compassionate, empathetic, and unafraid of love. In the end, the Jedi weren't destroyed because they loved too much, they fell because they loved too little. By confusing attachment with love, they cut themselves off from the very thing that could have saved them. In Legends, Luke proved that love, compassion, and connection are not weaknesses. They are the true path to balance in the Force. So I'll ask you, do you think that the Jedi should have embraced love, or was their ban a necessary safeguard? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, subscribe and follow for more Star Wars content.